Shri Ramnath Kovind, Governor of Bihar, Venerable Khamba Lamba Demrel from Mongolia, Venerable Ming Kuangxi from Taiwan, Venerable Thi Thien Tam from Vietnam, Venerable Telo Tukku Rinpoche from Russia, Venerable Banagala Upatissa from Sri Lanka, Venerable Lama Lobjang, my minister colleague, Shri Kiran Rijju, Minister Leongpo Nangbe Dorji of Bhutan, Minister Bayor Satak of Mongolia, Venerable members of the Mahasangha, visiting ministers and diplomats from foreign countries. I'm very happy to be in the midst of all of you. I feel very blessed to be here at Bodh Gaya. After Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru and Atal Bihari Vajpayee, I have the opportunity to visit this sacred place. I'm meeting you all on a very special day. Today, we in India are observing Teachers' Day to commemorate the birth anniversary of our second president, a great scholar and a teacher, Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan. In this symposium, we have been talking about one of the most impactful teachers in world history, Gautam Buddha. His teaching have inspired millions of people over centuries. Today, we are also celebrating Janmashtami, the day Lord Krishna was born. The world has so much to learn from Lord Krishna. When we talk about Lord Krishna, we say, Sri Krishnam Mande Jagat Gurum. Sri Krishna, the teacher of all teachers and the guru of all gurus. Both Gautam Buddha and Lord Krishna have taught the world so much. The themes of this conference, in a way, are inspired by the values and ideals given by these two greats. Sri Krishna gave his message before the start of the Great War in the Mahabharata. And Lord Buddha repeatedly emphasized on rising above warfare. The message by both of them was about establishing dharma. Both of them gave great prominence to principles and processes. Gautam Buddha gave the Eightfold Path and the Panchashil, while Sri Krishna gave valuable lessons of life in the form of Karma Yoga. These two divine souls had the strength to bring people together, rising above differences. Their teachings are most practical, eternal, and are more relevant in this day and age than ever before. The place where we are meeting makes it even more special. We are meeting in Bodh Gaya, a land that has distinctive place in the history of humankind. This is the land of enlightenment. Years ago, what Bodh Gaya got was Siddharth. But what my great privilege to have participated in the inaugural function of the first International Hindu Buddhist Initiative on conflict avoidance and environmental consciousness, hosted by the Vivekananda International Foundation and Tokyo Foundation with the support of the International Buddhist Confederation at Delhi day before yesterday. The conference was conceptualized on shifting the paradigm from conflict resolution to conflict avoidance, and from environmental regulation to environmental consciousness. I had shared my sum of thoughts on the two critical themes which are threatening humanity as no other challenge before. I recall how in the context of both issues and for changing the global paradigm of thinking, the world is looking to the Buddha today as conflict resolution mechanism and environmental regulations, both of them dependent on the instrumentality of nation states, are increasingly failing to measure up to challenges. Spiritual and religious leaders and also intellectuals, largely from Buddhist societies, participated in the two-day conference and deliberated on the two issues. At the end of the two-day conference, and after a churning in which spiritual, religious, and intellectual leaders participated, the Tokyo Foundation has announced that they have decided to hold a similar conference in January 2016. And other Buddhist nations have also offered to hold similar conferences in their countries. This is an extraordinary development which coincides with the rise of Asian as an economic and civilizational phenomenon. The themes of the conference, informed and shaped by the Hindu-Buddhist civilizational and cultural perspective, promise to deepen the notion of conflict avoidance philosophy and environmental consciousness in Asia and beyond. The two-day conference seems to have arrived at a broad consensus on both issues. On the issue of conflict, most of which are being driven by religious intolerance, the participants in the conference seem to have agreed that while there is no problem about the freedom to practice one's religion, it is when the radical elements try to force their own ideologies that the potential for conflict arises. On these issues of environment, the conference seems to have agreed that the philosophic understanding underpinning of the dharma, which traces the protection of natural heritage, is critical for sustainable development. I may add that the United Nations too has arrived at the view that sustainable development is achievable only through aligning development to the local culture of the people. This, in my view, is a positive turn in the development modeling of the world of diversity. I may add that the turn in thinking at the global level has created the ecosystem for the Hindu-Buddhist societies to carry forward their consensual ideas to the global flora. I personally consider the Hindu-Buddhist Conference on Conflict Avoidance and Environmental Consciousness as an important development in a world that seems to be short of durable ideas on both issues. Hindu philosophy was one of the greatest beneficiaries of the advent and the teaching of the Lord Buddha. Many scholars have analyzed the impact of Buddha on Hinduism. In fact, Adi Shankar was even critic for the way he was influenced by the Buddha. And Shankara was called as a Prachanna Buddha, meaning Shankar was Buddha in disguised form. That was the extent of influence of the Buddha on Adi Shankara, regarded by many as the tallest Hindu philosopher. At the mass level, Buddha was so venerated that Jayadeva in his Gita Govinda even praised him as Mahavishnu or God himself who descended to preach ahimsa. So Hinduism, after the Buddha's advent, became Buddhist Hinduism or Hindu Buddhism. They are today an inseparable amalgam. This is how Swami Vivekananda raised Buddha. I quote, "At the time Buddha was born, India was in need of a great spiritual leader, a prophet. Buddha never bowed down to anything, neither Veda, nor caste, nor priest, nor customs. He fearlessly reasoned so far as reason could take him. Such a fearless search for truth and such love for every living thing the world has never seen. Buddha was more brave and sincere than any teacher. Buddha was the first human being to give to this world a complete system of morality. He was good for good's sake. He loved for love's sake. Buddha was the great preacher of equality. Every man and woman had the same right to attain spirituality. That was his teaching. I would personally call India Buddhist India, as it has imbibed all the values and virtues of the teachings of Buddha by the religious scholars, incorporating them in their literature. When this highest tribute is paid by one of the great Hindu philosophers, would it be wrong to call today's Hinduism in quality and substance as a Buddhist Hinduism? Buddha is the crown jewel of the Indian nation, which accepts all ways of worship of all religions. This quality of Hinduism in India was a product of many great spiritual masters. Chief amongst them was Buddha, and this is what sustains the secular character of India. The enlightenment which Buddha attained in Bodh Gaya also leads the light of enlightenment in Hinduism. As the first servant of this ancient nation, I revere Buddha as a reformer of not only Hinduism but also the world, who has given all of us a new worldview and vision which is critical for the survival of all of us and the entire world. I recognize how Buddhists all over the world revere Bodh Gaya as a place of pilgrimage. We in India would like to develop Bodh Gaya so that it can become the spiritual capital and civilizational bond between India and the Buddhist world. The government of India would like to provide all possible support that its Buddhist cousin nations need for the satisfaction of their spiritual needs from this holiest of holy places for them. I am happy to read the declaration of Buddhist religions and spiritual leaders. This declaration is the result of hard work and extensive dialogue, which is why it is a pioneering document that will show us the way ahead. I also echo Prime Minister Shinzo Abe of Japan, who the other day highlighted the importance of tolerance, appreciation of diversity, and spirit of compassion and fraternity. His message to this August gathering and his continuous support for furthering this initiative is a matter of great strength for us. Once again, my congratulations and best wishes to you all. This conference has raised a hope and urge to go beyond clash and create a dialogue framework for civilizational harmony and world peace. I wish you well in your constant and determined efforts to ensure that our wisdom reaches the future generations, and that too in a manner in which they can practically relate to. This is essential not for us for them, but for the progress of the entire human race and the beautiful surroundings which we have got from Mother Nature. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.